definitely going to be implicated in some sort of scandal at some point because of just like all the shit that I say. They're going to be like, I'll be like, I don't know. There's something scary about having your voice recorded for a very long time.
No, of course.
Like, I'm going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well,
what about
no.
you?
Me? It's like maybe, but I don't do I don't do anything though. It's like I'm boring to the point where it's like I'm not even out there. I don't have any like weird shit going on.
Yeah, but that's always, I don't know. I feel like people whenever they're like, no, man, I'm not even into weird stuff. I'm like, you're into the weird stuff.
Of course.
You know, like the lady doth
The lady
protest
doth.
too much.
Yeah.
Okay, the lady doth, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Savannah, how are you?
I'm great.
We're in beautiful Austin, Texas. Isn't that right? We got Savannah DesOrmeaux right over here. She's a comedian from New York City.
A New York City cabbie just said that. He came out of nowhere. I'm great. I'm happy to be in Austin. I feel alive. I also feel dead. But I like the sun on my face. I'll say that much.
Nice, yeah.
It's been very lovely. South by Southwest is fun. It does feel... This whole city is Pinterest, though.
100%.
It's very much like, hey, y'all, you want a matcha latte?
Yes.
Wait, I don't even know Pinterest that well.
It's kind of like an online scrapbook of like what a hipster is. You know, it's like, do you want an oat milk matcha latte? Old typewriters.
It's
and
truly
Bob Dylan
online
on
collaging.
vinyl.
It's online collaging where girls can make their dreams come true, visually speaking.
Yeah, it's like a vision board.
It's about
It's
aesthetic.
vision boards. It's
It's
vision
about
boards.
aesthetic.
Okay.
It's like a lookbook.
It's a lookbook.
But for
all
like
of
a
these
blog.
words mean the
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's a coffee cup. Here's what my hair should look like. It doesn't, but it should.
Yes. Yes.
And it's that. And it's like typeface of like, I got my cowboy boots on.
yeah, or like certain things like in like Courtier New that say like, all those who wander are not lost.
Yeah. It's very wanderlust.
Yeah, it's very feather tattoo.
Depending on who you are. It could also be like, dark goth Tumblr if you wanted it to be.
Are there goths in Austin? Are there cowboy goths?
Yeah, it must be.
That's such a sick mashup.
That would be cool.
Cowboy goth?
Yeah.
Face tat on a goth cowboy.
Riding a
That'd be
horse,
cool.
standing
Sexual.
on it.
That sounds hot.
Yeah.
Do you have a
That's
type?
on my Pinterest board.
Yeah. Do you have a type?
Do I have a type?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have a type.
I think so. I mean, I've dated all over the map, but I feel like I have preferences. Sure.
What's your preference?
I like dark features in general.
Do you think that's 'cause
like
you're
no to blondes?
Light lady? Is that because are you naturally blonde?
No.
No.
I'm naturally blue, actually. It's my natural hair color. No, I'm not naturally blonde. But yeah, I'm not into blue eyes for some reason.
That's what I mean. It's like I think usually in order for your progeny to be strong, you're usually attracted to the opposite of what you look like.
Oh,
That's
interesting. Or maybe
usually-
just like not recessive. I need,
Yeah.
I need some brown eyes in the mix.
I just feel like I don't know, my mom is like dark features, she's Middle Eastern, and she's like into blondes.
Sure.
She like likes blonde guys with blue eyes.
Sure.
And I think that's because that's exotic.
Is that what your dad looks like?
Yes.
Cool. Good
yeah.
for her.
Yeah. They're divorced, but
Hell yeah.
you know.
Doesn't matter.
Good,
So are
even
mine,
better.
obviously.
Do you feel like you would only get married if you could get divorced? Because that's how I feel.
If you could get divorced?
I just like want to get married, but like I'm down to get a divorce. Like already too down to do
That's
it.
cool to go in
That's-
knowing it's part of it.
Yeah.
You should. People should. You know?
I've said this to you before where it's like, all I want is to just be a grandfather with grandchildren. I want
Yes.
to skip the whole like, the
first
first half of it.
I don't want kids, but I do want grandchildren.
Yeah, I just
I
wanna-
want a giant table with lineage, but I don't want to do the work to get there.
Yeah, I don't want to be hitting my dad pen just like telling them lies about my life.
Did you say dad pen?
Dad pen.
Dad pen.
Yeah.
Dad pen. That's when a dad has a jewel.
Give me my dad pen.
Dad's always on his pen.
we were fucked up last night. I was like, how funny would it be if I just went up to the bartender? I was like, hey, do you have like a little bit of my dad's cum? Can I just have like a shot. Dad's cum real quick.
He's like, excuse me?
What's
What was
that?
Do you have it? Do you have my
Do
father's
you have
cum?
it? Did
And
he
then-
give it to you personally?
I was like, I could do it. And I'm like, oh, that's probably like low-level assault.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like borderline
Yeah, that's
criminal,
something.
like criminal.
Oh, I guess to ask someone randomly about cum.
Yeah, I'm like, that's funny to like
Yeah.
me and three dudes, but I don't know if that's gonna play for the.
I feel like it would do well here.
Maybe.
Go for it.
I'll try.
Yeah, 'cause
repercussions
you know
for
that
me.
they're gonna respond like, "Man, brother, you're funny, dude. Anyway, what do you really want? Man? Hey, man, I'm 27. I look 37. I'm a hardcore alcoholic. That's why I live
I
in
will
Texas.
say about
Let's go.
the cross section of the audience here today outside of this house people are either 22 or 49.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
That is South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm a 23-year-old like TikTok fucking maverick.
Yeah.
Or I'm 49 years old and I fund films.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are the
100%. I feel like I'm in the minority here.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
How fucking annoying are the guys at NYU? Like, what was dating like at NYU? Horrible?
So, you know what's hilarious is I had a long-term boyfriend through all of college, which I don't regret the relationship, but I do regret being in a relationship through all of college. That was really silly goose of me. But dating in New York City, like I broke up with him right before my senior year and then immediately went abroad.
Nice.
Where'd you go?
Paris, obviously.
Okay, so you have that uncut dick.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. So I didn't really get that many NYU kids, but the people that I did were fun.
Are they like
They were
insufferable?
fun. They did end up being insufferable, but I think also it had to do with like I was post breakup. And the type of people you attract when you're fresh out of a relationship are specific. You know what I mean? They weren't necessarily the.
Do you think that
I was
it's
never going to bring them home?
Yeah, do you think that they
To my
actually
parents.
target people that are like getting out of like a relationship or something?
I imagine there's something about the frenetic energy that I was putting off that they were like, yeah.
She seems
her.
unstable.
Yeah.
She's not going to want to
Because
settle
I was
down.
in a room like, yeah, exactly.
I can tell she's cried in the last 48 hours.
She
Let me
looks
go
like
say
she's
what's up.
crying
Yeah.
right now, crying. She's
It's
currently
perfect
crying.
because like she won't fucking try to like hold me down. You
No.
know, 'cause she's unstable right now, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
That turns me
Yeah, so
on.
it was that. It was definitely that. But I don't think that's NYU specific.
Yeah.
I feel like NYU, like some of the kids that I've spoken to that like, after shows or whatever, it's like they're 21 years old and they think that they are brilliant and they're explaining something to you like, do you actually know that Cannibal Corpse is a movie that was like, it was shot actually. Yeah, no, it actually, can I explain Eraserhead to you? Because I don't think you would get it. It's Lynchian. That means derivative of a David Lynch
The word
film.
Lynchian is really pervasive
It's
on the
toxic.
campus. Yeah. The good news about me is that I didn't know a single reference you just made.
Perfect.
So I guess that those explanations never reached
You
me.
would fall into my trap if I was a fuckboy at NYU.
Yeah, and
You're
I'm
like,
sure,
I
and
need
I'm
to
sure I did,
learn.
honey.
I must learn everything you're saying. What are these references?
Yeah, I really did. I went to NYU knowing very little about culture, I will say. Like, I grew up in a very sheltered environment, and not even by like cinephiles or by like my parents just liked being outside.
Where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana.
Beautiful.
Which is
Savannah,
gorgeous.
and your name is Savannah.
Yeah, it's very Hannah Montana.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What is high school like in Louisiana?
I loved high school, actually. I really did. I was like on a outdoor campus mostly, so it was like very swampy, very very sugar caney.
Outdoor campus.
Yeah, like
Fully
the
outdoor.
classrooms were like in little like cabins, but then the anything between classrooms outdoor.
Okay, Twin
So
Peaks.
cool.
Yeah, and again, don't know that reference.
You're like,
It sounds like I went to school with a cult, but yeah. So it was oak trees, kind of the vibe. I loved it.
I wish I went to like a regular like town high school because I feel like where I grew up
Where'd
in
you grow up?
Orange County is like not a place where people are like, yeah, I just want my kids to roam the land, climb
Right.
trees. It's like, I just want my daughter to do cocaine off a fucking Nelly CD
Hopefully.
when she's 13. That's your high hope for Orange County.
No, sure. Yeah, it was very like it could have been Friday Night Lights, but we also didn't have a football team.
Wow.
So it was truly like just a very avant-garde in many
school?
ways. Private.
Ah,
Brag.
sense. I was
Brag.
gonna
Yeah. But it's also because Louisiana's education is literally in the shitter.
Yeah.
So if you have the means to go to private school, you're going to want to go. So
Yeah,
luckily-
that's like just the South in general. Like that's why there's like such the chasm between wealth and poverty in the South is like we feel that way in like New York and like LA and everything, but in the it's kind of everywhere. It's kind of crazy, but the South is like you can have such a vastly different experience. Like there's a lot of childhood hunger in the South. Like that's
go
like
there.
a region
This
where
is a comedy podcast, by the way, but let's go.
let's go.
Let's
but
rock.
that's like we're like a region where like it doesn't seem like public schools are not doing great, like hospitals are not doing great.
Yeah.
But then you have these like rich southern landowners that are having a far different experience than
Right.
like the majority of the populace.
I went to public school for half of my childhood, and then I switched into private school, and it was a huge
How
abrupt
was that
change.
like?
It was. I mean, it was obviously a crazy change. Like truly, it went from like 32 kids in the class to 16. So that's huge. And then the teachers were really excited for me to be there and be alive. So that's a huge change.
I did the opposite. I did Catholic school until 8th grade, and then 8th grade I switched to public school. It was a wild move.
Catholic? Are you still a Catholic boy?
Of course, like devout.
Devout.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, really into it.
Bullshit.
Okay,
No,
cool.
I'm not.
Do you
No.
believe in God?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, like I don't know.
No, come on.
Rock and roll.
I think I think there's something.
Hedge your bets, babe.
Exactly. I do.
You may as well.
Yeah,
'Cause he's watching.
I'm like religious in front of my grandma to make her feel happy, and that's about it.
That's like,
That's
dude,
that's because that's when it counts.
Yeah. But
Grandma is God.
yes, I watched a Forensic Files episode last night because that is what I do in hotel rooms.
You have
and
to.
there was coincidentally, it was about a woman who was abducted. It was in Austin, and she was the head of the National Atheist Foundation. This is in the mid '70s, and it was like in Austin, Texas. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm gonna talk about this. But she was just like this hard-nosed atheist, which is so funny because that feels kind of counterintuitive. It's like, I don't believe in God so much that you're making it a religion. Like there is
Right.
an organization of people that are like agnostic, which just kind of defeats
Right.
the
And they end up
purpose.
just like worshiping a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but at least that's Satanism. There's some fucking pageantry in that.
Right.
But like, I think that like, I don't know, not believing God in this area is fucking subversive, especially in the 70s. People like, she was banished.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that happened. So my stepdad is, I wouldn't say proud atheist, but like kind of casual, but was so right away, like upon birth, I think, and was truly kind of ostracized for it because people were like, "You're not one of us."
It's
And
really,
now I feel like it's chic and or at least totally
shared
fine,
myths
obviously.
are like the way that society fucking moves forward. Like, remember that fucking book that everyone was reading a few years ago, Sapiens?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, in it, like, it talks about how like language was developed, and like I would always think language is developed by like somebody being like, "Hey, there's a tiger. We gotta like come up with like words to like warn each other about the perils of Mother Nature."
Sure.
But instead, they're like, no, it actually language developed because of people like wanting to gossip and connect with one another, which I'm like, I love. That's
That
why
I
I love
love.
gossiping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's why
yeah.
I love gossiping.
Yeah.
But also like societally, as we can like build like and move forward and evolve, it's like shared myths. Like if we all believe, if you're like a Protestant and I'm a Protestant,
Sure.
we operate by the same rules.
Yes.
So we can have a shorthand with one another. So it's just like these kind of
Protestant slang.
yeah, no, it's great. It's so like interesting though when you look at like a religion as like as human beings like evolving. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's like we had to do that so we could all agree with something and be like and convene.
You ever heard
Yeah.
the stoned ape theory?
No.
Nah.
Awesome.
What's that?
So the theory, like, I
Stoned as in high or stoned as in
forget,
rocks?
like high.
Cool.
Oh, sick. Dang. Hell yeah,
but,
dude.
like-
Fake joint. Want some?
However many millions of years ago, when our like earliest, I guess, ancestors, just straight primates, were living in mostly just the canopies of trees. There was a climate shift, so there was less food up top in the trees. So they had to start going down to the ground and looking for like bugs and fruit and shit.
Sure.
But what they would do is a lot of times is turn over shit, like other animal shit, and look for bugs and stuff. And what grew under animal shit was psilocybin
Mushrooms, bro.
So the theory is that these early primates started eating mushrooms and then just tripping fucking balls.
Sure.
And just like slowly but surely like developing love and other like leadership and,
Yeah.
and communicating, and their eyesight got better.
Of
And-
course.
And the leading factor of this theory is that whatever the fucking primate was, the brain grew so much in 2 million years.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, that doesn't make sense. That even with evolution, that doesn't make sense. Even if it's like they start cooking meat and they had enough proteins to grow it, didn't make sense. But what could do it is just have it just tripping balls all the time for a couple million years.
Yeah.
Your brain's gonna
Nonstop.
be like, I'm gonna need more
Because
space.
the neural pathways that you're like developing in your brain are getting like bigger and bigger, and your brain has like more synapses that's making.
I wonder
and
if
more
there was any
connections.
gorillas that like didn't like being high, but they like had to be to fucking
Yeah, it's
eat.
like sweetie, before it's like a mom that makes you microdose.
Yeah.
Honey, did you have your microdose today?
Yeah.
Mommy, don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm tired of I don't want to smell the colors anymore.
Honey, take your microdose.
But
Literally crying.
There's those villages still out there.
Every time I do shrooms, I'm crying and I'm peeing at the same time.
And laughing and slobbering.
Yeah,
I'm slobbering.
But at the same time, I do feel like my brain. I'm like, I'm advancing. I'm advancing humanity for everyone right now.
I cry like almost every time I trip really
No,
hard,
of
but
course.
not in a sad way.
in a beautiful, life is beautiful way.
Or I don't even know what's happening. I told you a couple of times.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
they
be
just
talking
come
to
down.
someone and I'm just like crying. They're like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And I'm like,
Yeah, why?
"Yeah, what's up?" They're like, "You're crying right now, like pretty hard." And I go,
Pretty hard.
"Oh shit!" I guess I
You're
am."
crying right now pretty hard.
We're talking about like, is Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets? And I'm just crying about it.
No, yeah, I for my birthday last weekend, I did mushrooms and I was looking up at the sky and it was supposed to be cloudy all weekend, which I'd mentally prepared for, but then the sun was coming out. So I was like, wow, the sun came out for me. And then I started literally like,
You know what's funny?
sobbing buckets.
I took acid last Saturday.
Cool.
You were on mushrooms last Saturday.
There we go.
Look at us. Cheers to us.
Cheers to us.
Here we go. Every time I take acid, I'm like, I've
never done
this
acid.
50 times. I'll be fine. And every time I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. You've never done it.
I've never done it.
People are so afraid of acid, and in my opinion, I think mushrooms are more volatile.
That makes sense.
I disagree.
Mushrooms, like, I can have a bad trip and like have a bad time and feel like I'm going to actually pass away.
Mm-hmm.
But when I take acid, it is pure jubilance and it's only happy. That's like the thing about acid. I've only been positive when I've done it, and
That's
I'm
how I feel
like,
about
this
shrooms.
is great.
But to be fair, I'm not
mushrooms-
scared of acid. Literally, someone pop it in my mouth tonight and I'm down.
You
To be
should
clear.
it's terrifying.
It's
Okay,
not.
there we go.
Bro, I got locked into a 13-hour trip that I did not want to be
It's
a
the
part of.
locked in, but
And
that happens
his friend
anywhere.
convinced him there was a school shooting going
True.
on as a
Oh,
So I did freak the fuck
no.
out about that, and then like 2 minutes later, my friends were like, "Yeah, he was joking," and I just said, "Oh yeah, I fully forgot about sarcasm for a minute there, guys. I'm really sorry." And
That's so mean for somebody to do that.
no, I
to you.
lost my mind on acid, and I don't want to do it again.
No, that's fair.
I was in a dorm
13
building,
hours is far too long.
It was-
to be doing anything.
I remember all my friends just saying, "Oh man, yeah, I wish like, I'm coming down." Like I don't like, "Dude, I've been peaking." for
I'm
4 hours."
escalating.
I am seeing fractals
you think-
and patterns.
You just had a
Fractals.
panic response.
The word fractals.
Do you think that like
100%.
it just triggered like an anxiety attack? Probably.
Yeah,
That's why it made it last longer.
I was just saying this recently, but we were tripping still, but we were bored. There was nothing to do. We kind of did our little adventure stuff, and then we just thought, okay, let's throw on a movie. What would be a fun movie to watch? And someone was just like, "Oh, Indiana Jones." And we all thought, "Oh,
Like,
that's
how about
hilarious."
Citizen Kane?
Yeah. And
Schindler's List is a good acid flick.
dude, all Indiana Jones is Nazis, spiders, snakes, and traps. And so I'm lying on a carpet like this.
You can't.
with my-
I think even watching a movie in general, doing any substances is not the ticket.
no, I don't
like
think it was the move.
screens.
But I was breathing like this.
See, this is what's scary about boys getting together doing illicit substances is because nobody's helping anyone. Like,
No, they'd be like,
did
"Yo."
anyone turn to you and say, "Are you okay?
They
Is there
said, "Yo."
anything I can get you, such as
No,
water?"
Savannah, that's gay. Let's be real.
They said, "Yo,
and,
you're-
and
you're-
that would be gay, to be clear.
yeah.
But did anybody go gay for you just for a second?
But I was gripping the sides of the carpet like this and like wrapping it up as a blanket.
Not
and,
the
and my
carpet.
buddy Matt would be like, "Yo, Liam, you're breathing kind of loud right now."
What's crucial about that is you said carpet, not rug. Like you were ripping carpet out of the ground.
I didn't even know there was a
Staples
difference.
coming out of it.
And everybody's like tuned into the movie while
Never
you're
mind. It was a-
ripping
it
the
was-
floor up.
It was a rug. I didn't know the difference. But like they would say, "Hey man, you're breathing pretty loud." I go, "Okay, my bad." And then I try to breathe normally, and I'd be like, and they would be like, "Hey man, you're doing it again." I go, I'm gonna go back to my room." And then I was sat in my bed, my dorm room, and I had like bat sonar where I could hear conversations in every other room happening. And
Yeah.
there was a party above me, and I could like visually see where people were walking.
Of
around.
course.
And I was like,
X-ray vision.
I'm like, damn, this is like the most fear I've ever had.
I just feel like the worst thing you can say to somebody on psychedelics is like, "Hey man, don't breathe weird."
Hey, by the way, you're acting real funny.
Yeah, you're a little off right now.
You're scaring everyone.
I took acid. This is a bad idea. Speaking of don't breathe weird on psychedelics, which is the worst thing to like hear. Just like you're breathing loud. I'm like, oops, that's bad. I went to the Integratron, which is a place in Joshua Tree that's very hippy dippy.
I went to
That
the
is-
Integratron?
it's a sound bath that they do.
No,
in a
that's a
geodesic
supervillain's
dome.
lair. Sorry.
Yeah, it felt like that. Well,
Yeah.
it's a geodesic dome. So the way a geodesic dome is
What the
built.
fuck?
That's a
You're talking-
made up word. you're saying gibberish.
If you
stuff.
guys stop roasting me, I'll explain everything I'm talking
Okay, but
about.
everything you're saying is stupid.
I'm from Southern California, okay? Boston and fucking, all right?
I'm from the swamp. I don't know what you're saying.
Have fun with your mad racist zones you grew up in, okay?
I will. They're awesome.
Will, I love my parents.
Okay, so a geodesic dome
Sounds like a slur, honestly. Okay, keep going.
geodesses.
What'd you call me?
It's built in a way where sound travel. It's like sound travels like in a really fucking crazy way. Like it's basically, how do you explain almost like an octagon. Like if like a building was shaped like an octagon. So if you're in the middle of it, you can hear somebody whisper on the other side.
Like Grand Central.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of built like that. Anyway, me and my boyfriend at the time, different person, I was like, I found this old acid, which by the way, this is a little PSA. Acid never goes bad. So I don't know if it just like
That can't be true.
intensifies with age, because I was like, this might not even work. It might be bunk. We take it and we take it about 30 minutes out. 15 minutes in, we are like, this is a heroic dose of acid, and now we have to go and like do a fucking sound bath
I
with
love
white
the term
hippies.
heroic dose.
And-
I recently
The
heard about
hero's
that.
journey.
Yeah. I love that.
So it was pretty intense, and also I kind of forgot that every building on the premises is a geodesic dome. So just even the ticket counter, I walked through the threshold, and I'm like, hello, and then it was the loudest sound I've ever heard, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, this is also a geodesic dome. They're like, oh yeah, man, that happens to people a lot. Anyway, what can we do you for? I'm like, this is terrifying. And we all had to lay down and do this, like literally this woman's hitting a fucking singing bowl and doing all this sound bath shit. And this is me and my boyfriend at the time, the entire time we're like this. We're like, everything's hilarious and we can't stop laughing, and
How do you stop
everything.
How do you stop saying the word geodesic when you're there?
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
be
be
like
able
geodesic.
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 It sounds like a language, like an Italian.
Yeah. Geodesic. There's something there.
That reminds me, like, when you can't stop laughing. When we took acid, when it kicked, we're like, let's go to our friend's dorm. So we took an elevator up like 10, 15 floors, chill in this kid's room, and then we thought, okay, it's time to go back down to the 7th floor, our room. So we're on the elevator down. None of us for a second even fathomed that it would stop and someone else would get in. So it stopped on the 9th floor, and we all just looked at each other. We were like, oh,
No
fuck.
way.
And this girl walks in, and there's just
Oh, no.
4 dudes peeking on acid. And she walks in, just like stands there, and we all were looking at each other like, and we started dying laughing, and she turned around.
Oh, she thinks she's gonna die.
So no, she was like, "What the fuck did I just do?" And I remember this, like I was like, "You're fine. Come on, guys, have some class." That's all I could say. I was like, "Show some class." And we ran.
Hey guys, act your age.
We ran out of the elevator. I was like, "Okay, we can't be in public, dude." And then my buddy went to the fucking. He got kicked out of the dining hall because he was trying to eat pizza with a spoon. He was just
Seems
like
like you shouldn't. Okay, what are they fucking? You should eat pizza there or however you want.
But he just kept going like, why isn't?
Oh.
And he was like, oh man, I gotta get the fuck out of public.
No, that's like if you are too high to be in public, that is a big issue. Like I went to Meow Wolf on acid, and
What's that? and just real quick, what
this
the hell
episode
is
should
that?
be called "Nobody Knows What Nina's Talking About." She's in a mental institution talking to a wall.
She's actually zooming in from the loony bin.
It's like an art installation. There's one in Vegas, but the original one is in New Mexico, and it's like this artist foundation. It's actually the Game of Thrones guys are the ones that funded it, and it's this like very multi-million-dollar art project that's immersive. It's like an immersive art experience. So there's one in Vegas, and we went, and I was like, oh, this will be fun because it's trippy. Here's the thing about doing psychedelics. You don't need to make things more trippy. I'll be like, oh, let's see like a trippy movie.
right, like put a tree. And
Yeah, that's
good. That's enough.
exactly. So It was just like hell on earth because everything, it was like Disneyland where it's like everything looks like you should be able to sit on it, but like you're not allowed to sit there. And you're like, why can't I sit anywhere?
Please, I'm tired.
Yes, I couldn't. Yeah, because when you're in your 30s and you do psychedelics, you're just like, I just need to sit down.
I
Like,
love sitting. Can I just say?
It's the best.
Literally.
I'm enjoying this conversation only because I'm sitting.
I'm always looking for the next opportunity to sit.
Same. I'm top heavy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so top heavy that I'm like, fuck, my legs hurt, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
But I went to an art museum for the first time last weekend with my gal, and we got really baked. and we're like,
Wait, which art museum? The LACMA?
The
Mocha.
the Hammer one. The
Oh,
Armand-
nice.
Yeah, that one.
The hammer one?
The Armand
There's a
Hammer.
the Hammer Museum, which is owned actually by not the Guggenheim family, but it is owned by who's that man who ate people or threatened to?
The hammer.
Yeah.
The hammers.
Army
the
Hammer.
hammer.
Army
Yeah.
Hammer.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Gettys.
But-
So it's like a subsidiary of the Getty Museum in LA.
It was great.
Thank God.
For some reason.
So it's not a museum of hammers, just to be clear.
No.
Okay.
And I said that, and then
Because LA
They're like,
would.
you have to leave.
they were like, "Dude, stop!" And I walk up with my Dunkin' iced coffee. I'm like, "What is this? What's this?"
Dunkin'.
I'm like, "What are you guys doing here? Art? That's cool. Check it out." And then,
So the construction workers are in the back, actually.
You're like, no, I'm here to look at it.
but
To look at the art. I'm actually a patron.
I felt so bad though because we walk into this dark room and there's a screen and they're playing this video, and the video was, and I'm not kidding, just objects with a narrator, and it would be rice, and it goes,
Rice?
"The rice is white, sausages are gray,
Yeah.
computers are black," and it was that. The rug is yellow, and it made
This sounds great.
I don't know.
was-
There
it
was
was-
something about what you just did that was very entrancing. Nina and I both shut up for the first time, and we were like,
It's like ASMR.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was something with
For
that.
dumb bitches.
But I was crying, laughing, but everyone was like appreciating it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't do it!" And then I let out like it's just like, and then from the corner of the room, another dude my age was just like, felt like, okay, I can laugh now, and started laughing, and then slowly everyone in the room was just like, okay, this isn't impressive, this is just absurd.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
like, dumb as
You
fuck.
created a moment
Yeah.
of togetherness,
And
and,
then we all-
that's what museums are about.
And we all walked out, and I was like, damn, that was crazy.
Should have pretended like it was a part of the project. You're like, and scene. That was laughter by Liam Culler. It is an immersive experience. It is alive. It's akin to Marina Ambrovovic.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I don't know.
I feel like I'm mostly, when I go to museums, I'm seeing those wild videos because, to bring this back, I want to be sitting down.
Yeah, true. They got the little bench.
They're
yeah.
the only places that have a bench.
Yeah.
I can't fucking move my arms ever. I'm always wearing my bag wrong, So I'm like, I go to those rooms for, we go to this place for magic. I go to those rooms for safety of like, I can finally sit and rest
I've
in
gone
this
to
goddamn
so many
museum.
museums on psychedelics. That's like I still do that like frequently as a MoMA member.
Oh.
What's that?
Hey.
MoMA,
The MoMA?
Museum of Modern Art, New York City. They actually have a Dali, the one with the melting clocks.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. I take psychedelics at museums all the time because it feels like a safe space because nobody's gonna like talk to you, and it's like
Right.
everyone's supposed to be quiet and kind of like not near each other.
Right.
And I just really like that, and it feels like I just can sit down and look at stuff.
And it's like suddenly everything's animated.
yeah, it makes things like pretty pleasant. You can people watch at the same time. It feels like a very safe space.
That's a good idea. I've never
Another
tried that.
thing, when I did psychedelics, when I did acid last
How
week,
often do you do psychedelics?
Very often.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yes, like maybe once a month.
I was at Garbatrol last weekend. We were tripping balls.
Dude, I just do. I don't know. My boyfriend really likes it, and I
Cool.
started doing acid when I was 15. So
Cool.
it's like
That's insane.
I know. It honestly explains why I cannot.
That says a lot
understand
about your frontal
mathematics.
lobe.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sure my part of my brain is atrophied from doing psychedelics. We're like, it's really good for your brain. I'm like, as an adult, yes. As a child, I don't recommend.
Yeah,
it.
no, probably not.
Numbers are colors and colors are numbers right now.
It's
10 is
bad.
orange. I don't know why.
But last week, one of the funnest things that we did is we went to an MMA fight, an
That's
amateur MMA
sick.
fight in Philly on acid.
Amateur?
It was sick, dude. It was okay. Like UFC, yeah. You ever see a guy fight a guy and then his mom is there crying and hugging him, and I was like, I can feel both of them right now. Like literally
go
a few
in, you
feet away
join them
from
on the
me,
hug.
Yeah.
crying aunties and everything, and like I saw the most
Oh, that's
savage
something.
knockout. Like seeing that just felt like anime. Like I was like, everything is incredible right now.
You know, it'd be good, a monster truck rally.
Ooh.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
seems like something I could really get
or a
behind.
rodeo.
You know what happened to me
Yeah.
recently is I mistimed my mushroom trip. So when I was getting in an Uber to go home, fucking hit. Like peeking in
Not
an
in
Uber,
an- yeah,
and
that's
I'm in
hard.
there, and the guy, he was Chinese. He spoke barely any English, and he was on the phone with his wife. And the only reason I know that because it was the language I didn't understand, but then the heart, and I could just feel the love in their conversation. Like I could really feel it. So I'm just in the back, like, and he kept
Touched.
He kept turning around, being like, "What the fuck is this kid about to do?" And I'm like, "Sir, what's your favorite song? Can I play on aux
You
your favorite
asked
song?"
him that?
Yeah, and he'd be like, "No." I'm
He's
good."
like,
and then he'd be like, talking
no,
to
I
his
hope
wife,
this ride is over soon.
and I'd,
I
like,
want this to be done.
I got out and I was like, damn, he was probably so. And he was like the smallest man that's ever lived. And I was like, oh, he probably thought I was about to do something heinous.
you were gonna rape him, and he's like,
yeah, you're like,
quiet the thoughts, Liam. Quiet the thoughts. Oh, don't do it. Don't
Sir,
do it. If I
look
just
at
got
the
back of a car
flowers.
and I started talking to myself like that. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Come on. Come on. No, not this time. I said not this time.
I feel like no matter what you do in the back of a ride share, you're not the weirdest thing they've seen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
No matter what.
Someone's fucked back there.
One time I was in an Uber and he got a call and it said spam likely, and he looked at it and just swiped it and answered and had a 5-minute conversation with spam likely. I was like,
That's a fake number. That's like how he saved his
his side
chick.
bay. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, genius.
Yeah, because then you like it and you're like, oh my god. But then you get like a text from Domino's or
Right.
whatever, and then it's like, why does Domino's say
Domino's
this?
is literally obsessed with you.
It's crazy. I have what I would actually like to do. We actually have questions from
yeah.
our audience that
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, and I think there's one that I think you're gonna like because it is kind of salacious. It's a little, dare I
What time
say,
is it, by the way?
it's 4:30.
Okay. Maybe do a couple questions and we.
Sounds
Go down
good, my
for the show.
friend. Yeah.
'Cause I need
Okay.
another beer before I do stand up.
Hell yeah.
Savannah.
I need a vitamin. My body's grasping for life right now.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, I
as
need a
can.
drip, a saline drip.
Okay, so. Okay, how do you know when a girl is just being nice versus flirting with you?
No idea.
That's hard. I feel like when I am, that's hard.
Do you think that there's like a body language though that like women kind of have, or if you there's a proximity of touch? Because I think
If
I'm
they're
being-
touching you, they like you.
if they're
that's
touching, they
that's
like
the big
you.
one.
Or if
I
they're
have
kind
a
of-
friend, a very funny comedian, Lorena Rusi, who has a theory. She calls it nooking. Like anytime a girl is like like touching the inside of your elbow or like kind of here, like when girls are like going for the crevices.
Yeah, they're koala bearing.
Yeah,
They're, like,
exactly. They're
I think
into it.
also when a woman lingers eye contact, when she's kind of like really her
See, that one I
energy-
worry about because I have trouble sustaining eye contact, especially if I like the person.
You're like nervous. Okay, that actually totally checks out because I think when I would have crushes as well, I would be like, I actually have to look around this person.
For some reason, it's like they can't know. They can't know.
No, it's terrifying. But do you feel like you're a little bit more? I think I'm a little try hard. Like when I would have a crush, and I would be more smiley. Like if you like, I don't want the
I'm
conversation
usually
to stop.
what it is like I don't want them to like the way I want them to find out is by me directly telling them. Do you know what I mean?
Whoa, you do that?
Yes, because I'm so anxious about will they like.
So what do you do? What do you say?
I'm usually like, are we flirting, or like
That's kind of badass. You're
or like-
such a New Yorker in that way. You're like, okay, it's just flirting. If
well,
not,
I
gotta move
really
on.
need no, but it's actually it's out of self-serving of my anxiety of like if there's like lingering eye contact and I don't know what's going on, I need to know. I need clarity.
You don't like the kind of in between space.
I
like,
really
you know.
don't. Cat and mouse. I hate it.
Yeah, that makes. See, I think I kind of love that because I'm like anything could happen, and then I also.
But until
like,
that moment, I don't want to give them the satisfaction of thinking I like them.
That's interesting, and I think a lot of women can identify with that because it's a risk to like somebody, and then maybe they don't reciprocate, and then you feel like the worst person
Yeah.
ever. I think that being nice versus flirting, like when a woman is being just nice to you, she's giving you really abrupt answers and very like short, like.
I think
"So
it's,
how
it's
are-"
also in the type of smile. Yeah, it's like if it's a tight smile, that's nice.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, good, yeah. I feel like my
The type of
voice
laugh.
changes. Like I get a little bit more like I'm talking to an Uber driver. Like that's kind of like I'm
Yeah,
like,
like hey, don't sex traffic me.
yeah, sounds good. Okay, and I try to keep things pretty succinct and short. I would hope that you can tell if somebody's flirting with you versus like girls just kind of being nice to you, but it's tough. Like, do you think there's any tells?
The only tells back when I was a single man,
Of course.
were the eye contact is all I could do because like I'm tall. I've said this before where like I'm at a party and if I'm just like looking around, most of the time I can see everyone. And if I see like someone staring at me and like make eye contact for 2 seconds, I'm like, okay, she probably like wants me to come say hi. But that was it. But what
That is a good way. I feel like that's a way of getting someone over to you.
yeah.
Yeah,
the
but once
thing-
once I'm in the conversation, I'm looking elsewhere.
It's anyone's game. It's anyone's guess.
I
at that
even like
point.
for on dates, I prefer like I love like a cafe where we can both look out or a walk. I don't want to like be in a scenario where I have to look right at their eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, I also used to do this thing where I would, no matter who I was talking to, even if I like liked a girl at a party or whatever,
Yeah.
would just assume for whatever reason my brain was like, she's in a very happy, committed relationship.
Oh, yeah,
And
no, of
that's-
course.
And I have no data on this human being whatsoever, but my brain's like, dude, she's fucking taken. Like, relax.
Of course.
And that's just
I
where
do
I
feel like
was.
I have a good radar of when like guys have girlfriend energy or not.
Yeah.
Or for me, it's easy to
Well,
spot.
men if they're good dudes and they're not like skeevy, but most of the time they bring it up really quickly because they're scared. At least like when I talk to you guys, like maybe a few minutes into a conversation, be like, yeah, then well, my girlfriend, well, and I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah, the girl,
Like, what do you
the
think?
girlfriend I have, she's not here,
Yeah,
but I love her.
She exists, and I really like her. You would like her too if you
if
guys
she were
met.
here, you guys would hit it off.
Yeah.
No, that's just pure panic. I think I've done that like today.
Yeah, because you don't want to feel like a bad
I
guy.
do think
And
you did it to me earlier. When I got here before
you
Nina.
can tell because Savannah's averting eye contact from Leah. She's like, I'm pretty sure this girl likes me. She's just like, have to look over there. Can't. It's tough, dude. But I think that like time is an indicator of everything. Like I think if you're like talking to somebody for a while, it will come up. Like whether or not this is like platonic or romantic. I think that usually if like
It's also,
she's into
maybe
it.
laughter. Laughter is maybe like if it's a fake laugh, like obviously.
Yeah,
There's
if-
placating laughter, and then if there's like a belly laugh, then you've got her.
If I'm giving you big like wide golden retriever energy, like I'm just like
Every chakra open.
If you-
yeah,
if you
like
get a
my
girl that-
butthole is pulsating.
So yeah, just tell the boys that listen to look at the chakras.
Yeah. If you make a girl laugh and she snorts in front of you,
Done.
Done.
You're gonna make her come
It's
that
done.
night.
Yeah,
She's-
she
she's
just
that
did
close to
probably.
coming.
Yeah,
and then they're like
exactly.
so embarrassed about it. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like
God.
James Dean.
Thank God.
You're like fuck yeah.
You're like leaning against a wall all of a
I throw a
sudden.
leather jacket over my white tee. I'm like, I gotta
This guy's
cry.
like, hey, that's my leather jacket.
give that back. I say some super racist to him. Like, you want to get out of here? What's up?
God. Well, actually, speaking of this transitions well because somebody wants us to talk about first orgasms.
First.
So, first orgasms alone and with people. Love to hear people's stories. In the middle of my first orgasm, I thought I'd really hurt myself. Been chasing that high since.
Was that a girl
a
or
man.
guy?
This is
It's
a man.
Hurt.
It hurt.
I mean,
That's so
does it
interesting.
ever hurt
Maybe
when
he
you
had a
come?
lot pent up.
Yeah, it was like a wax dart shooting out of his penis.
Not wax.
Gotta say no. Brian,
You're not doing it right.
does it ever hurt when you come? Yeah. Okay.
That's
He's like,
usually
"Please
it's.
stop."
I mean, the whole
Yeah.
thing is that it's the opposite of hurting. It's the one moment we don't.
Sometimes do you feel though like if you ever have like sex on Molly or something like that and you're like
Again, no.
okay well
Here's the thing.
do you chafe if you fuck so like sometimes you like fuck like 5 times
Chafe?
in a day? Well no, like not like
Because it's the duration.
I've
Yes.
never fucked 5 times in a day.
I'm a very happy woman.
You?
5 times?
Yes, you were in Paris. Yeah, she's like I studied abroad. Yeah, I fucked 5 times in a day.
5 times feels maybe not 5.
Okay.
I think my number is 5. That's like the most I did, and with my
But I've never.
love.
It's been a
with
long
my
time.
love, not
Yeah.
like
Not 5 different people.
I didn't mean that.
That
was
would be
more-
reason for concern.
not bang bus.
I was
But
pro-
I'm
I was
not kink
projecting.
shaming if that's
My
someone's
own
thing.
experience.
I mean, I was like
Firsts.
Do you remember your first orgasm? Because I kind of don't.
I don't know if I do. I know the time era.
Okay, ditto.
Yeah.
How old were you?
It was in college.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
I think the first orgasm I had, I must have been 20 as well. Like in that,
Yeah.
you know.
I really didn't get like curious in that way.
You know what?
Until later in
It's
life.
not as impactful for a dude. It's like, you know what I mean?
Impactful.
You know, where it's like I remember the first time I discovered masturbation.
Yeah, because that's the first time but I realized that's the first time I like had an orgasm because I would like
Same.
hump hump
You were
stuffed
humping
animals
everything.
as like a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
So maybe it was 3
straddling-
years old for you.
Oh my god, yeah.
Fuck.
Like, but a dog, but the way that a dog does it, like, because when you're a kid and you do it, it's like a dog humping a leg, where it's like the dog is not even thinking it's sexual. It's just like this
No, of
feels
course.
good.
No, it's about
Yeah.
joy. It's
Yeah.
all about
Oh,
joy.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I never went through that phase as a kid, but I remember my cousin did, and my mom used it as an opener for like having an open conversation about masturbation, which is sort of punk rock of her.
Yeah.
Where she was basically just like, your cousin is really liking pillows these days. Any chance you like pillows as well?
I remember just like everyone in my friend group had done it, and I was lying because I had no idea how to do it.
Of course.
It like literally like was just like
It's not intuitive.
no, yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
No, of course.
And if you
It's
do like
unnatural and it's wrong.
if you do a YouTube tutorial of
It's a
it,
sin, and I stand by that thought.
Yeah.
if you do a YouTube tutorial of it, like you will go to jail. Like it's basically just child pornography. Like, let me teach you how to masturbate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I type in, I'm like, how does a 13-year-old guy jack off? And I'm like, oh fuck, now my dad's.
How do you
going
make
to
a
jail.
13-year-old boy come? Asking for myself.
Yeah, but I remember that because then I was finally able to sit in a conversation about it with my friends at the lunch table and not be
Did
like,
you feel like a man finally?
yeah, I was like, dude, when it
You like brought it up out of
feels so
nowhere?
nice.
They're like, Liam, we weren't talking about that.
before I'd just be like, yeah.
yeah.
For sure, for sure.
So you were peer pressured into masturbating.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
that's really funny. I like that. I don't know. My first orgasm with I think that I had an orgasm with a man for the first time when I must have been like 20, 21, something like that. And I think when you're younger, you don't even think of it as like a part of sex. And it's actually fine because I think that the way that women have orgasms is comfortability.
Yes.
Like it's so like men, it's like a physical thing, and women it's psychological. Like coming is really psychological for a woman, and I think with a guy, if you just touch him in certain ways, like he's going to come.
Of course, it's A to B.
Yes, and it's like a guy could be doing everything and it's not going to happen.
It might just not be the day for it. The wind
Yes.
isn't due east,
Right.
etc.
Yeah. And I think guys,
But I also like. Here's the thing. I feel like in high school, I thought that I was. And then,
We thought you were coming.
yeah, but I didn't have a frame of reference until I actually did.
did you have a high school like sweetheart?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Same boy to
I get
NYU, right?
smelling on
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
smell it
I had
on you.
I started my life out with a long-term relationship and then never had another relationship.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
you. People do that.
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
was it? Like 8 years?
No, it was 5.
Okay.
It was like 5.
But at that age, that is like a decade essentially, because it's
exactly.
like
No, I truly thought I thought he was the one, and I was very happy with him until I wasn't.
This was in Louisiana
Yeah.
Okay.
It started in Louisiana, but then we both went to school up north.
at NYU.
No, he went to a different school.
And then it was just
I'm
like,
scared he's gonna listen to this
What's his
podcast.
name and address?
I don't want to. I'm like literally saying I wasn't
Talk
sexually
about his
satisfied.
mom right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. His mom was great. His mom was great.
Yeah, I feel like men get really fixated. Sometimes they get fixated on wanting to make a girl have an orgasm, which is like a really lovely thing. But I think
My
sometimes
friends and I talk about this all the time. The guys that that say like, I love going down on women, and it's like, for some reason that's a red flag.
Yeah, because I think that they do it because they want to have power over you. Like they're like, I'm the one that makes you come.
Oh, interesting.
I'm the comer.
But that's interesting to me. I'm the cum.
I am the cum
I'm
maker.
the cum police.
Yeah, it's like the rainmaker.
Yeah.
I make the cum come.
No, of course.
But I think that I would say though, just like back to kind of like your point of like sometimes like a woman doesn't have an orgasm not because a guy's not doing like
No,
a
exactly.
good job. It's
That's what
just
I'm saying.
you're
Like
not
I
in
was
that
having,
state.
I was having so much fun during that time, but I just
Yes.
I didn't know about my body, and therefore I couldn't instruct people.
I think
how
as
to,
a guy, like
I
it's
can only
not
imagine.
good sex unless like a man. It's like if you had sex and you didn't have an orgasm, you'd be like, "Fucking, I want my money back, dude. This is
Yeah.
bunk." But as a woman,
Sir, I want my money back.
I will
see
say
this. There's cum still in my penis.
there's something there's someone I'm seeing right now that I think something magical he kind of does is we actually, it's never really a part of it, him coming. Not never, but like sometimes
I've been
it
with guys
isn't.
like that.
So
yeah.
it honestly
Is he on antidepressants?
no. I am. Does that does
Well,
that
it's
do
like
anything?
sometimes hard to come if you're on antidepressants.
Yeah.
For men and women.
It was already hard, and then I started taking antidepressants, so I'm like, whatever. Let's just nail the coffin down.
Sometimes I feel like because a man's has a very punctuated experience with sex, and it's like coming is like the end of that,
Right.
Like experience.
I like that's what was my point. Is like I like not having the punctuation even there, where
Yeah.
it's like we can decide to end at
feels
any
very
point.
Sting like tantra.
Yes, exactly.
We're always
and then
doing
it's
it.
always and then it's like it's not. I realized that I just defined the end as when the other person.
When a man comes. I think a
Yeah.
lot of times like women do that. But the cool thing is like if you're a good lover, if you're a guy and you come, then your girl hasn't come and she wants to. It's just like you could do other things. Like I feel like at that point you're so sensitive that if a guy just like fingers you, you're like kind of
course.
good. Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know, it feels like he's got your back.
Right?
right?
Liam's so uncomfortable. It's like hearing his sister talk about sex. That's what I feel like.
Kind of is sometimes.
Yeah, you're just like, ew.
Not to change topics, but we should wrap soon.
We should, yeah.
Cool.
What else should we talk about? Do you have any questions for us? I always like to ask that.
That's a good question.
My question is, how dare you?
Well, do you have anything to plug?
What gave you the idea to ask me that?
I don't know. What's the best meal you've ever had?
Oh, wow. I had brisket today, and it was a sexual experience. It was so good.
I
Hell
had
yeah.
a biscuit for breakfast this morning. Fucking good.
Great. So today was the best meal of your life.
I don't know. I've had a lot of good meals. I like duck. Feels evil to
Go
like
off.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I ate quail once, and I
Oof.
felt like a supervillain.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Dalmatian.
yeah. It's a Corella, like a snack.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big sushi girl, as is every basic white chick.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
important.
sushi,
Yeah,
sushi.
big
I
on
don't-
sushi.
Actually, best meal I ever had was for my birthday years ago. This guy I was dating took me out to a dinner that in LA called like a Naka or something, and it's like one of those like places where it's like the chef, this is all the vegetables are grown in the chef's garden, and then the chef comes up to you and like they're just like almost like a fucking cult leader.
Yeah.
And every like taste, like everything is just dime size. Like every bite is just a fucking.
Have you ever dated a chef?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did date a chef. That's
Do you have PTSD from it?
It's the guy who fucked me with a hat on.
No. Come
Was it with the chef hat?
oh wait, I know what you're talking about now. I thought that for a second, but the other hat.
He
Yeah.
pulls it up. There's a rat inside.
The rat's actually
the
fucking me.
rat that's
He's
fucking
pulling
you.
the hair.
Sorry.
He's like, fucker. Anal. Come on, dude.
the rat,
The rat
begging for anal.
Come on, man. Fuck. Get pegged. Let her peg you.
Rats are really sexually adventurous creatures.
The rat begging for anal. Well, God, I feel like we can't top that.
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pee my pants too.
Oh, okay, yeah, we gotta go. Can
Hydrated
you please
king.
plug yourself, plug your Insta, everything, what you're
Okay,
doing?
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plug
my
yourself.
Instagram is Savannah DesOrmeaux, and then my sketch group is Text Me Back RN, please. And I think that's all I have to plug.
Great.
Great.
Well, guys, follow Savannah, and also if you have a chance to see her live, I really recommend it because she's a very good comedian.
Thanks, boy.
Hails in New York City, but you do travel a bit.
I travel.
Yeah.
Mostly in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, guys, thanks for listening. This is British Nina signing off.
Thank you.
BBC.
Bye.
Oh.